The dent that has been caused by the COVID-19 pandemic can now be felt by all key players, especially schools. Teachers, who are very important people in the education ecosystem, have had to abandon the profession for businesses because they were unable to take care of their families during lockdown since they were not earning a salary.
My name is Nakaiza Jacqueline. I work as a matron in this school. I've been here for 7 years, but I've done this work for almost 20 years, and work has been okay. As the pandemic came abrupt, it really affected us. The environment became difficult to stay in because really it came abrupt. They thought the thing is just for a short time. We didn't have food in a store, we didn't have money, which was kept there to help us, and we were so scared how to go on with life.
My name is Madame Nale Justine. I'm a teacher by profession. I teach Luganda and CRA. At the same time, I'm a senior lady in this school. As a teacher, I lost the time contact with my students. The students are home, so I'm really missing them.
I'm Christopher Bwire, head teacher of Mpoma School, Girls Campus, and principal of Mpoma School Satellite Campus. COVID-19 has adversely affected the school as a business, of course. This is a purely private school, so we survive on what the parents remit as school fees. And as soon as the president proclaimed on 18th of March 2020 that he was closing schools due to COVID-19, that was the last time we ever received a remittance of school fees onto the school account. And we went into a dry spell. So we had a spell of about 7 months of no cash flow.
Shabe Betty Nalongo is my name, the director of Buya Parents Primary School. It has been tough. I can say it has been tough. You can imagine, mothers are delivering. Some have children to go back to school also, maybe had children in the candidate classes. Others are paying rent. We are lucky as in Buya Parents School, half of our staff were accommodated to have teachers' quarters. Now you can imagine those ones who don't have even teachers' quarters. The challenge is, we don't know how long we are going to continue struggling.
Parents got so scared. You know, girls are not easy to be kept idle. They went home. Parents they were not prepared to welcome them back home. But when they went back home, food was not there, money was not there. As we don't have money in school, we are not being paid. They last paid us in April, and by all that period, like 6 months, we are not being paid. God has sustained us as parents. We have got other small jobs. And
in fact, most schools are now hiring because teachers do not want to come back to the profession. How can we work together to make sure that teachers are proud of their profession?
As the thing went on, teachers advised the parents to keep these students busy in books, giving them some work until these girls, where the president said they should come back for studies.
I would advise the government to open the school now because most the girl child are suffering. On top of that, most of them are getting pregnant.
Well, fortunately, the school runs a farm, and at the time of the closure of schools, we had a farm of a few basic food items, and since the students were not here, we tried to give these to our members of staff.
Thank God, because we had made some savings. We managed to pay teachers up to May. Things became hard after May. But we went on sharing the little we had in our coffers, and later we came up with the teaching, Zoom teaching. Some parents came up and supported us. We managed to move with the teachers. We don't pay full salaries, but at least we try to clear the rent bills. We take care of those ones who are sick, and they get a small contribution at the end of every month. And these teachers are not certain how long this will take, so that maybe they take a decision.
Really, even parents have been, somewhere contacting us, asking what should we do with these students. At least if we can get work on phones and then we help our children. It is okay if people can invest in smartphones, but not all parents have money to invest money in smartphones.
They've been trying to do Zoom teaching, send lesson notes to the children, send assessments, and do an exam at the end of the month. It's a challenge to the parents. Some you find they have to use the same gadget, like has only one phone, smartphone, has to go to work. So at home they cannot leave any gadget. So it is a big challenge. You find you don't have even a quarter of the population that you are supposed to be teaching.
But I think the ministry could think of every child in this country to be in school by providing some things which are possible.
My dear friend, according to Africans, it is not easy to teach students when they are at home. Mind you, they have a lot of work at home. They cannot be settled. It is better for them to come back to school.
On a positive note, the pandemic has accelerated innovation, science, and technology. Today we are seeing schools innovate around education to make sure that all their learners access educational materials in real time. We now have schools innovating around education. Say for example, schools have pre-recorded lessons so that they send these lessons to their learners on WhatsApp.
Well, I think the most critical issue about COVID-19 is that it has helped us, can I say it has catalyzed the thinking without the box. In the past, we used to think only outside the box. Today, we have learned to think without the box. By June, we thought that was getting late for these students, and we thought that maybe the exams of UNEB would still be done in December. So we saw like we're losing a lot of time. Initially, we were putting work on the website, notes on the website, and the students would copy. But now we felt that time was going. The students have copied the notes, and these notes need to be explained. So a team of teachers, together with management, sat down and came up with a model of teaching students online using a WhatsApp group platform.
See if it is possible. So when I look at this nature of distribution of the points or the pattern created, I suspect a line with a positive gradient. So I will draw my line passing through those 3 points.
Therefore, I want to say that the biggest gift that COVID-19 has given to us is to innovate an affordable platform for engaging learners on long-distance study.
I feel the Ministry of Education should engage the education managers, the fellow partners in the education system, rather than doing it alone. Together, we see what we can do for our children. We are talking of COVID, but we are losing on a generation. I don't know whether you look at them and see the weight they have. They don't eat on a schedule. They have no stress. They are just growing, and they are losing focus because, anyway, there's nothing much they are looking up to now. So I think the ministry needs to wake up and involve all the stakeholders to see that we help our children. Otherwise, we shall regret a lot.
I can only advise the Ministry of Education and Sports to prioritize online teaching, online learning across all schools, can only advise them, because the way to go is the future of education. How I hope and wish that the ministry can prioritize the funding of online study. Our neighbors in Kenya have given tablets to students and pupils.
For sure, it has been a long time, and students, we need more time because most of them are out of focus. They're no longer focused, they lost hope, and some of them, they are no longer thinking about schooling.
Obviously, there is a lot of pregnancies that are taking place. And when you compare COVID vis-a-vis what's going on in our communities, the pregnancies, the early marriages, the trend we are taking, maybe it's even more scaring than COVID. You are talking of only the girls, the pregnancies. What about the young boys who are going into drug abuse? I don't know whether you've visited our communities and you've seen, they are smoking openly. Those who are already in that system are inducting others. And these boys are just redundant in the community. Others are the bread earners at home. Like you go to Nakawa market, you're going to find young boys selling Vuvela, try to carry for you. And these are young boys that are being also trained in the wrongdoing.
For me, I would think the future of education must have that, like skill work within these students. They get time and they give them skills. Someone grows up when she can do something else. You learn from class, out of class, you can do something else.
We are going to go more digital. Since we've been teaching those students from online, now they are used. So we are going to go more digital than before.
Education must seek to address a problem. That's when it makes sense.
We now realize three things. One, that the theoretical aspect of education needs a hands-on experience so that learners are able to acquire employment once they leave school. Two, the future of education is largely tied to how learners and teachers can maneuver technology and innovations. It is therefore imperative for everyone, especially school heads, to be intentional in integrating technology in their curriculum. And lastly, education must be practical. Thank you very much for watching this episode. My name is Cynthia Chofna. Do not forget to engage with us on our social media platforms, the Innovation Village on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.